A gene therapy was injected directly into a child's brain, not in a lab, not in an animal study, in a real hospital, as part of a SHANK3 trial happening right now. And for families living with Phelan-McDermid syndrome, this isn't just science. It's the first time anyone has attempted to replace the missing instruction at the center of their child's development. For decades, the message was simple: manage the symptoms, adapt, wait. But something has shifted, because this is no longer about working around the condition. It's about attempting to reach the biology itself, and the first children have already been treated. What you're about to see isn't a future concept. It's a real clinical trial already underway. A therapy called JAG201 is now being tested in a first-in-human clinical trial for people with SHANK3 haploinsufficiency, a genetic change strongly linked to Phelan-McDermid syndrome and one of the clearest known genetic pathways associated with autism. And here's why this matters. For decades, autism research has mostly focused on behaviors, symptoms, and broad brain differences. But this trial goes after something much more precise: a specific gene in a specific subgroup with a therapy designed to address the biology at its source. That does not mean we know it works. It does not mean a cure has arrived, but it does mean the field has crossed a line that once seemed impossibly far away. We are now watching a real SHANK3 gene therapy trial in human patients. To understand why this trial is such a big deal, we need to start with one gene, SHANK3. SHANK3 helps organize the machinery of the synapse, the communication point where brain cells send signals to each other. When SHANK3 function is reduced or missing, those connections don't work the way they should. And when synapses are unstable, learning, communication, behavior, motor development, and cognition can all be affected. This is why SHANK3 has become such a major focus in neurodevelopmental research. In Phelan-McDermid syndrome, a deletion or damaging variant involving SHANK3 can lead to severe developmental challenges, including intellectual disability, profound language impairment, low muscle tone, and autism features. So this is not just another autism headline. This is one of the clearest gene-to-brain pathways we understand. And that clarity is exactly what makes it such a powerful target. Most treatments in this space do not target the root cause. They might help attention, they might reduce irritability, they might support sleep, they might improve quality of life, but they do not replace the missing instruction. JAG201 is different because it is designed as a functional gene replacement therapy. In simple terms, scientists built a delivery system meant to carry a working version of SHANK3 back into the cells that need it. And there is another twist. SHANK3 is too large to fit into standard delivery systems, so researchers engineered a mini gene version, preserving the critical function while making it small enough to deliver. This is not just a therapy. It is a workaround to a biological limitation. Scientists had to figure out not only what to replace, but how to physically deliver it into the brain. This therapy is not a pill. It is not an IV. It is not something taken weekly. It is delivered through an injection into the fluid spaces of the brain, performed by a neurosurgeon under anesthesia. That sounds intense, because it is intense. And the question immediately becomes, what kind of condition leads families and doctors to consider something like this? The answer is simple. The stakes are enormous. These conditions can affect communication, cognition, movement, independence, entire life trajectories. And right now, there are no treatments that address the root cause. That is why this trial matters. Not because success is guaranteed, but because it dares to go after the core biology itself. Here's where the story changes. This is no longer theoretical. This trial is actively recruiting in the United States, enrolling young children. The first patients have already been treated at major medical centers, including Mount Sinai in New York and Rush University in Chicago. And early updates show something important. So far, there have been no treatment-related serious adverse events reported in initial dosing groups. That does not prove it works, but it does mean something critical. The door is open. The trial is live. The children are real. And this is already happening. Now we need to slow down and stay grounded. Early safety signals are encouraging, but this is still early-stage research. It is too soon to know if this therapy will meaningfully improve development, communication, or long-term outcomes. Gene therapy in the brain is complex. The number of patients so far is small, and early trials are designed to understand safety, not prove effectiveness. So, the honest headline is not, "This treatment has cured autism." The honest headline is, for the first time, researchers are testing whether replacing SHANK3 in human patients can begin to change the course of a devastating genetic condition. And that alone is a major shift. There is another detail that matters deeply. This trial is focused on children, because in neurodevelopment, timing can shape everything. The younger the brain, the more development is still unfolding. And the more development is still unfolding, the greater the possibility that changing a core biological signal could influence the trajectory, not just stabilize it. That is still a hypothesis. But it's a hypothesis that could change everything if it proves true. If this therapy shows real clinical impact, it could reshape the field in 3 major ways. First, it would validate that some forms of autism-linked conditions can be treated at the genetic level, not just managed. Second, it would make early genetic diagnosis far more important because timing could become critical. And third, it would show that even complex neurodevelopmental disorders may be within reach of targeted therapies. For years, families were told, "This is genetic. Learn to manage it." Now the question is changing. This is genetic. Can we do something about it? So what should we watch for now? The first real clinical signals: changes in communication, cognition, motor skills, and daily functioning. How long the therapy effects last, whether outcomes vary based on age or genetic profile, and whether success here leads to more gene-targeted trials. Because sometimes a small trial in a rare condition becomes the start of something much bigger. The SHANK3 story is not a miracle story. Not yet. It is a threshold story. A moment where science crosses from possibility into reality. Because for families living with Phelan-McDermid syndrome, this is not abstract. It's the possibility, still early, still uncertain, that biology itself might no longer be untouchable. And that changes everything. Subscribe to Bee as a Butterfly for more evidence-based breakthroughs in neuroscience and future medicine. Because the future of medicine is getting personal, and stories like this are how it begins.